Morning, everybody. Yes, good morning. Welcome to Mornings in Meridian. Thank you for tuning in to this, the 2 best hours of local live talk radio here in East Mississippi and West Alabama on this fun Friday.
We made it.
We made it, Rob. That's my main man from Meehan, Rob Atkinson, checking in there. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, sir. I feel like we did not get the memo. You went really nice, and I went really sloppy today on the dress. So, and of course, I asked you who died whenever I saw you. So,
unfortunately,
I'm terrible when I say that. I would be ashamed of myself.
You pretty much know when Roger B's got the tie on. See, you never used to know that before we had the Facebook. Now,
who you burying today?
And yeah, no, well, I'll tell you, it's quite a privilege, I guess you might say, because it's a longtime friend. I used to be his pastor years ago over in Jackson,
okay.
And he's one of those great generation.
Very good.
People who left his home at the age of 17 to join the Navy, and he served on a tanker, the USS Jaguar, during the Pacific conflict. Conflict. Those guys will come at me. I'll show you conflict.
Yeah, I'll show you something.
No, but he's a great guy. Raised a good family. Lived in Pearl, and just good folks. His name's Jerry Ishii.
Well, do a good job.
I'm going to do the best I can.
Okay.
And go tell a few funny things about him. He was always a fun church member. He had lots of candy to give the kids. He had to tell the preacher, look at his watch and say, let's cut this off at 12, Pastor. We don't need to,
Well, I like him already.
I tell you what, you got to like him, right? 12 o'clock's a stopping time, that kind of thing. So he was a delight. Always had something. I don't know if he reminds you of somebody but he always had a wisecrack. Just kind of come up with a wisecrack about stuff, like he'd call you Harry, for example, because you don't have any, that kind of thing.
Sounds like somebody I know from down the hallway at once upon a time.
Okay. There you go. A good man, 96.
Wow, good life.
Yes,
fantastic.
Good life. So, we're going to go over and celebrate that this afternoon, and it's kind of interesting because my good friend from high school, who's a pastor in the Tennessee area, he's going to join me, and we're going to team up, and they've been lifelong friends with this family for years.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Anyway, okay. You ask, so you got the story there. I mean, who died? You said.
Well, I'm just curious.
I know it. That's all because you do funeral announcements on the station. So
yeah, on our sister station, The Legend. So I was curious.
You didn't see it on the rip sheet because it was out of
town. It was not a local funeral. So there you go.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Rob. I don't care if it makes you mad or not.
I don't care.
I'm the only one qualified to be the talk show host and finish the job that I started.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Quoting, kind of semi-quote, paraphrasing our president a little bit.
Boy, do I have some jokes I could tell this morning. So,
okay, we'll get into that. But first, while we're talking about Fun Friday, let me ask you this: does this sound fun to you, sir? To just jump? By the way, I got to give a shout out again to the family watching down there at the Southern Command at Borda del Agua. So, thank you. Good to see you all, or good to be seen by you all.
Also, our daily Silas shout out.
Oh yeah. That's
morning,
right.
Silas.
Hey, is he in the car yet? Yes. Good morning.
And also, as we learned yesterday, papaws also drive the kids to school.
Don't send out the Solly signal.
We learned our lesson.
We might
yesterday.
Get a call. It's Fun Friday. We made it to the end of the week. It's great. Now, let me just describe fun to you. This is going to sound so fun to you. You're going to go all the way to California, and you're going to get on a bike, and you're going to start riding all the way to Annapolis, Maryland, and you got to do it within 12 days. Does that just sound like a blast to you, Rob?
I'll jump in.
Doesn't that sound like fun?
I'll jump in the car and follow him. How about that?
Hey, where were you
when I needed you?
Welcome to the show, Mr. Ed Abdallah, who is that guy who says, yes, I want to ride across America in the Ride Across America. Welcome to our show again this morning, sir.
I appreciate you letting me come on and
You know,
talk about my ride.
we were talking this thing like a year out. Now you're here. It's all. It's. When is it? When does it take place again? Is it August or?
No, it's June 11th.
June.
That's right. Not that I'm counting, but it's 4 days, 4 months and 1 day. That's it. And actually, it's actually 4 months because this day is going to go by very, very quickly, and
it's
then it's going to be 4 months.
It'll be 4 months, and then it'll be 3 months, and okay.
We're ready.
But
We're
but
ready.
now I like that. I like the confidence. We're ready. And while you're talking about that, you are the rider, but you talk about we, and kind of describe what goes along with the person riding across America.
Okay, so this race is it was called the race. What was it called? It was called the Great American Race in 1982. It was started by 4 guys out in California and Colorado.
4 guys with obviously nothing to do.
Pretty much. And they said, hey, let's go across the country, and they did. And this became what we call today RAM, RAAM, which is Race Across America.
Race across America.
And it's been a dream of mine for, God, a long time. But the last 8 years now, it's been close to 8 years. And, this was the year. Last summer, of course, you had us on the show, and we did a thing called Bike Around Mississippi, which was 1,167 miles, and we did it in 4 days and 3 hours. And, that gave us an idea that, hey, we can do this.
And to my knowledge, didn't get shot at once.
No, we were pleasantly surprised. We were kind of concerned about a few places. They were kind of sketchy, but the people were just unbelievably kind.
That's great.
And my friend, who's the crew chief, you said, there's 9 folks that are going to go with me and support me, and they're part of what's called a crew. This is a supported ride. You can't do it. The race director, Rick Bothling and his father Fred are owners of this race, and they want everything to be safe. So you have an entourage of folks, and so my race my crew chief is Kevin Brooker, who's been a childhood friend of mine.
I had the privilege of meeting him one time at the restaurant where I saw you all
absolutely
dining.
And
he was dining. You were just kind of just making sure that you didn't eat too much so you could get on the bike again.
Right. But
you were having a little energy bar.
We've been friends since God, I hate to say it's been over 40 years, but his wife is a nurse, and she's going to be my nurse and nutritionist, and then my sweet Kathy's going to be one of the drivers, and make sure that we don't make any wrong turns. She's got a sorority sister, Christy, that's going to be part of the crew, and then I got
and talking about your crew, I want to pick this back up. But talking about your crew, I think about you riding across, and it's got to be done in 12 days, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
I can't even imagine riding across in 12 days. That would be like I'm sitting in the vehicle following you for 12 days. That's quite a little challenge right there.
Yeah, it's all, we talked about this, about science. A lot of it's just staying on the bike and not getting off and keep pedaling east. And, it's funny, we had a big Zoom meeting with the crew, and one of the things that Kathy brought up was we do everything. He does nothing but pedal. And whatever we do to keep him on the bike, we have to do, no matter how mean it is. And I'll be honest with you, I've been riding a long time, and anybody that does like Ironmans or any of these endurance, like 50-mile, 100-mile runs or stuff like this, after 20 hours, you start becoming a baby. And it doesn't matter how strong you are mentally, you start breaking down. And then you look at the crew members who are more compassionate, and you sit there, and I've done this before, and I'll sit there and I'll like cry a little bit, and I really need a break, and they'll say, okay, let's just take a 5-minute break, and 5 turns into 10. Well, when you add all that up in a 24-hour period, you're looking at 2 hours. You can't afford any of that. So we talked a lot about keeping me on the bike. Don't let me snow you, because it's going to happen. Every rider does it.
You're going to try to, you're going to try to swindle them out of some rest
absolutely.
time.
And it happens all the time. And I've done that in the past, and I'll continue to do it. This is, a lot of it's
Which is
mental.
why it's good to have a wife along. Yeah, she'll.
Well, that's another problem. You know, they encourage you not to have family members as
Oh.
crew members, and
Because maybe overly sympathetic.
absolutely,
Okay,
they know when
gotcha.
you're hurting. They don't want you to hurt, and they want to get you off the bike. And it's like,
Oh.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I get you.
yeah, this is, you know, we're doing something good for Hope Village. You
Yeah.
know, I talked to the board and the executors and said, look, I'm doing this, race across America. I would love to raise money. I need a charity, and I want you to be my charity. And I said, it's not uncommon to raise $1 million, and that's what I'd like to do. And Sela was all excited about it. And, you know, she's lived in California, so she knows about this particular race. And she's like, yeah, I think I've heard that before. And so, you know, we linked up with Hope Village, and they've been incredibly gracious to help me, you know, figure out ways to raise money. Because this is just my part alone, it's a $35,000 race, you know, to get people to California, to
And-
get the vehicles, to
Yeah.
the food. You know, you think about 9 people plus me eating for 12 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
17 because we got to go to California, and then hotel rooms for them. And they're not going to get a lot of sleep. It's not like, okay, I'll see you in 12 hours. It's like you go to the hotel room, we open it up for 9 people, and you know, they'll sleep maybe 3 hours, and then the other crew will come in and switch, and they'll sleep 3 hours, get a shower, and then, you know, I mean, it's just, and for me, I'm sleeping.
So
in
your
the back
total
of the
rest
van.
time on a given day equals what?
For me, 90 minutes. 2 hours. If I'm lucky, 3. Wow. That's it. I mean, if I do anything more, I'm not going to make it. You got to understand, I age up to 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got 2 problems. I'm older, and the other problem is I'm a heavy rider. I'm 217 pounds. Not a lot of people out there that are doing this that are my weight. So I have that I have to figure in. You know, when you're climbing 11,000 foot, you know, mountain called
Oh, yeah.
Wolf Creek Pass,
Yeah.
you know, that's going to take me. It would take an average guy that's, you know, in my shape, that's less weight, maybe 2 hours.
Wow.
It's going to take me maybe 3. That's an
Yeah.
extra hour that I have to count. So, you know, they say, yeah, there's no way you can do that. Well, we're gonna give it our, you know.
But just
our
think, when
best.
you go downhill, that weight makes you go very
Oh,
fast.
absolutely, absolutely. No, that's
But
you know,
Roger, try to wrap your mind around it. 3,000
Yeah.
plus miles, 12 days.
Yeah.
The climb over 170,000 vertical feet.
right.
15 states, 3 deserts, 4 of America's longest rivers, and 3 mountain ranges.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And
You're
he's been.
forgetting. See, everybody forgets.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Kansas.
Yeah.
400 miles of possibly a headwind or a crosswind.
Right. Right. Add that into the mix.
But the view is nice.
Yeah,
You'll be able to see for a long way.
Right.
yeah. That's something that
but-
I think I'm excited about. I'm excited about seeing some of the most beautiful things our country has to offer. And
Yeah.
Have you traveled through the area that you'll be riding before? Or is this all going to be kind of
No,
new to
this
you?
and I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of talk about we were going to do some altitude training, and we're going to be fine. You know, when we go through Arizona, you're going to acclimate well with altitude. It's still going to kill you,
Yeah.
but you're going to acclimate by the time you hit those high peaks. And but I don't want to do anything. I'd rather, just like with the race, you know, ride around Mississippi, I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to see firsthand, and that kind of helps me a little bit.
You got a view of that, and you mentioned the charity Hope Village for Children. And for those of you that are new to our area, just to let you know that Hope Village for Children was founded in large part by the actress Sela Ward, native from Meridian. And this is an ongoing home for, basically for children, for folks that don't have a home. And that's a worthy cause. And, of course, that's why you mentioned the name Sela and Hope Village. Just letting everybody know that this is what your focus is.
Right. I told my boss, Shane Rogers, has been great. You know, he's been on this voyage with me the whole time, this journey, I guess. And him and my other, my other boss, Miss Kroll. She's been, or Crowell. I always say Kroll. And they give me a hard time. But I was, eating yogurt with a little bit of blueberries and an orange. And this was Thanksgiving, and they were having our Thanksgiving meal. And he looked at me and he says, there's just absolutely no joy in your life, is there? And Christmas time came rolling around about 2 weeks later, and it was the same thing. They're eating ham and pulled pork, and I'm eating yogurt and blueberries with a little bit of granola now and an orange. And he's like, I don't understand. Why just have you're going to ride 42 miles to the house when the school's lets out. You ride to school in the morning, most mornings. Why don't you just have a little bit? And I looked and I said, I'm making a sacrifice. And he goes, yeah, but sacrifice, come on. I said, listen, let me explain it to you this way. The sacrifice I make, giving up my craft beer, giving up my desserts, giving up, good food.
Like, ham, turkey, and
Giving up time with my sweet Kathy because I can't stay out past 10 o'clock because I got to get up at 4 and ride. That sacrifice is minimal compared to the sacrifice that those children made. They didn't ask to, be placed in the type of chaotic lifestyle that they had. And they come into Hope Village, and with Hope Village and what they do to them, they come out with dignity. And that's one of the things that I wanted to stress so much to, not just to the viewers, but to everybody else that has anything to do with Hope Village. I've taught these students, and they're unbelievably brilliant. I love having them in class. But the thing is, when they leave Hope Village, they leave with dignity. They might come in with a little bit of despair in their heart, but they leave with dignity. And that's what Hope Village is all about. So it was a no-brainer when I started looking for where am I going to, because you have to have a charity. What am I going to do? And I read a lot of books about RAM. Anything dealing with children, it's a no-brainer. You will raise $1 million once you get on the bike and start pedaling across this country. People will sit there and see what you're doing, and they'll hit that QR code and they'll dump 25 or 50 or 100, who knows, 1,000. And all of a sudden, by the time you're done after 12 days, you look in your pot and it's like, man, you just raised $1 million. There's a guy that did it for kids in Africa and raised $2.5 million.
Wow.
We were talking, had a seminar with RAM officials and RAM owners, and Rick brought up the fact that this gentleman raised money for children over $4 million when he got on the bike. So it's definitely doable.
Yeah, that sounds extraordinary. Now you have 12 days to accomplish this. So what's the outcome? What if you make it 12 and a half days? What if you make it 13 days? Tell me what that does.
There's 52 time stations, and there's 3 hard time stations, and you have to make those time stations. Now there's 2 of them that are going to be soft times, they call it, where maybe you're an hour later, they'll let you continue because you might make it up somewhere. But by the time you hit that 3rd time station, if you did not, if you don't make it, you DNF. Now, if I get to that point and I'm still riding, so be it. Let's finish it, but it won't be official.
I got you.
There are only 369 people that have ever finished this race. It's a 57% fail rate. It's a 68% for anyone over the age of 60, and there's not too many of us that do this.
You got this, Ed. You show them. You can get that 11 and a half hours done. Get it in there.
Right.
No, but the energy and the donations collected, those all remain and go to the charities,
absolutely,
regardless of whether they
everything.
I just say, oops, he didn't make it. Too bad. Nothing counts. All right. But no, this is you don't intend that. That's not your spirit. I know for a fact.
My crew won't even let me say DNF. They won't even let me say it now.
And you've said it like 3 times on the air already, so they're really going to be mad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When they see you again, you're in trouble.
Yeah, Kathy gets on me all the time about that.
Yeah.
She says, "No, when we make it, and you put your head on the pillow at night, the lights are off, you start thinking, what in the hell did you just do? Why are you doing this? But there's just so much more to it. It's just not. It's got nothing to do with ego. Somebody says, "Man, you're doing this for ego." No, I can go out and ride a couple 100 miles around Mississippi. That's for ego. This is not ego. I can go out and ride with my group and do a 22-mile-an-hour ride at riding 50 miles and averaging 22 miles, and that's ego. This is more. This is about. It's a little bit to do with remembrance of guys that I served in the military with, guys that I served overseas with. I think a lot about that. I had a question by Dr. Pasha, who's our title sponsor. And, I mean, I couldn't do any of this without him. We talked about that before. If it wasn't for those back injections, there's no way I could even, really walk. So
we talk about the donations, but what kind of money does it take to put on a, you don't just get a bicycle and ride. You've got to have resources, as you said, sponsors. Right. So what kind of money is it just for you to do it?
Well, to get into the race, it's $6,000. On a teacher salary, that's tough. So you save, but the other stuff is like just getting my crew to California. We had to rent a couple of vans. We have a couple of vans right now, minivans. We're trying to do it on a cheap. Because whatever we raise, I want as much to go to.
I mean, in my mind, I'm already up to like $30,000.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's for an American rider, depending on where he or she is.
Yeah.
It's about a $35,000 raise.
Yeah.
For European riders, which is almost 80% of the field, they're paying close to $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, they're Europeans. They should pay more.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not. Just kidding. Come on, folks. Lighten up. It's Fun Friday. Well, I'll tell you what, it's exciting to hear about this once again, Ed, and I know you wanted to tell our listeners about it once again. What can they do to urge you on?
Well, I mean, pray. They can follow us. We're going to be all over social media. The RAM, and I think there's a little thing it tells you. I mean, this reaches 120 countries. This reaches 123 million people just in the month of June alone. I mean, it's just incredible. What RAM does to promote this, but they'll be able to follow me. And I have Bailey Googe is a younger gal that's going with us. She's going to be in charge of media.
I'm holding up the information for our folks watching right there.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, got the website there for the race as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they can do to watch. But they also, while we're riding or even before, if they hit that QR code, or they can go to Hope Village's website. We're all over it as well. If they want to donate, I'd really appreciate it. We had we made some, had some fun, bantering back and forth. We had a little deal with Northeast Lauderdale, who, by the way, we beat last night in our boys basketball game.
I saw that.
Oh,
absolutely magnificent game. But anyways, so we decided for teachers to, we're going to raise $25 per teacher, and whoever raised the most money out of the school, I would wear their logo on my jersey. And I begged my guy, I said, I'm so sorry I did this. I don't know why I did it. I was joking around. Maybe I rode in the sun too much, but I am sorry. And if I had the money, I'd give it to all of you. But can you please give $25? I do not want to wear a Northeast Trojans logo on my.
He doesn't want to do it.
I begged him. And of course, well, they, April Luke set all that up and got it all together. And
of course, April did.
we raised more than they did, and so I get to wear my Night Riders logo.
Beautiful.
And,
there it is.
But we've had some fun. We've had a lot of great sponsors. Castle came forward, and Southern Pipe, and Magnolia Bev, and we've had so many people come out and say, yeah. And of course, like I said, Dr. Pasha in the Pain Management Center.
Good deal.
He's been wonderful. And then, a lot of other guys have come forward too. Guys that I taught, I've been teaching 30 years now. This is my 30th year. So I have people that they said, hey, Coach, we want to help you. I'm like, and, I'm a doctor, and he's a doctor, and she's a doctor. I'm like, holy cow. And it's like I taught all these kids, and they're like, yeah, we want to help. And
well, before you feel too warm and fuzzy, what they're thinking is, Doctor, we were trying to figure out a way to get back at you. Now we know how. We're going to support you on this race. Yeah, that's what we want to see you out there on that bike.
Well, you keep asking about, one of the questions you keep hitting at, and I haven't answered. I have to stay on the bike for 280 miles every day, and that's going to be about 20. If I have a good day, 18, 19 hours. If I'm having a tough day, 22 hours, 23 hours.
So when this is all done, when can you sit on a normal chair after that?
So we go from Oceanside, California, and they changed the finish route. It was supposed to be in Annapolis, Maryland, and about 2 months ago they changed it to Atlantic City.
Oh,
So-
okay, yeah, I did think, okay.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
Yeah, as soon as we get to the boardwalk, I'm going to get off the bike. We'll take some pictures. We'll get an interview with George Thomas, who's the voice of Ram, and then I'm going to put my feet in the Atlantic Ocean, which 12 days ago I put my feet in the Pacific Ocean, and I'm going to have a craft beer from the 3 Foot Brewery. I'm going to eat a gallon of ice cream, both chocolate and strawberry. I'm going to have a carrot cake and a German chocolate cake done by Bob Sample.
Wow, this is well planned.
What else am I going to have? There's something else. I'm just going to sit in the water and just sit there.
Just sit there.
And
Sure.
not do it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe sleep for a little bit and then get up and do it all over again.
Well, you're going to ride back to California?
No.
Oh, heck no.
No, I'm going to drink a beer from 3 Foot Brewery. I'm going to have a gallon of ice cream.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Just so we're clear on that. That is fantastic. Well, it's Race Across America.
Yep.
Ed Abdallah is the guy from our town who is going to be in that race. Very, very few people in that race, by the way, folks.
Yeah, they first Mississippian.
First Mississippian.
Nobody's ever done it for Mississippi. So
No pressure, Ed.
It's a good thing. I mean, we put Mississippi on the map, and
Yeah.
Eddie from Heart and Soul told me, he says, if you do this, you're going to put cycling on the map, and I'm like, oh, come on. He says, no, I'm serious, and I'm going to sell a bunch of bikes, and man, we're going to have big groups come out. This is going to be great. You're going to really do well for Mississippi, and he's right. It kind of sparks interest. I'm 60 years old, for goodness sakes, man. If I can do it, anybody can. And I'm 217 pounds. Anybody can do this. Anybody can get on a bike. Anybody can ride.
Well, I'm going to see if the boss will pay for me a ticket up there to cover your arrival to Atlantic City so I can put my foot in the water with you and
Heck
eat
yeah.
German chocolate cake.
No,
and ice
you
cream.
don't get a ticket. You got to ride from here to Atlantic City on a bike.
Hey, they do have a race across the east now, so they just opened it up from Ohio to Atlantic City.
Okay, so
Do
it's
that.
just kind of a
And
starter.
if you're a Western guy like me, I love the Western shows. You can do Raw, Race Across the West. That's from Oceanside to Durango, Colorado, and there you go. So you got a whole bunch of different races you
Kind of
can
a
do.
little
Roger.
starter there. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've just got to figure out how to stay on a bike seat without it just totally, just I don't know. That's a long time to be on that skinny little seat. That's all I can say. Well, listen, Ed, we wish you the very best. We'll be watching you, and as we get a little closer, once you come back,
Yes, absolutely.
We want to take your pulse and temperature and make sure everything's good for you.
Hopefully, I lost about 17 more pounds, and I'll be good.
Okay, sounds good. Folks, be watching for this, and you, being local supporters, can just tap that QR code, punch it in there, or however you do it, scan it. I guess you scan a code.
Scan it.
I'm going to get the right terminology for the 21st century. Scan that QR code and donate to Ed Abdallah. Well, actually, you're donating to the Hope Village for Children right here in Meridian, Mississippi. And so
Do have a comment on here from our Facebook crowd, Ed. Michelle Joyner says, good morning. She said, Ed is the best. All the kids love him, and my son is really hoping to get him for history next year.
Oh yeah. Somebody said, "Are you retiring?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're all saying you're retiring. I said, "No, I was threatening them because I was so tired of you not studying for your test." I was just joking. I'm not retiring. My kid's going to college next year. No, I'm not retiring. Plus, I love what I do. There's no way. Michelle, I love Michelle. I love the band. We just did a big 24-hour ride for them, and we raised, I think he said it's closer to $10,000.
Wow,
So,
that's great.
that was a really good thing.
well, very good. Any last words to our audience before we let you go today?
No, but I appreciate everything they've done so far, and just keep praying for me. And
Absolutely.
I want to bring home that finisher's medal, and we're gonna have a good time with this.
Perfect.
Deal.
Perfect. Well,
Thank you so much for having
as
me.
always, we're behind you all the way. Way behind you, but we're behind you. There we go. And we wish you the very best. Ed Abdallah, Race Across America. Is that right? And, of course, that's going to, June. June's coming.
It's coming.
Okay. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us. Good morning's in Meridian. Thank you for being out there. I just reached in and grabbed some Alabama. No birthday for them that I know of.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes. Hope you're having a good day. Roger along with Rob today.
Good morning. Boy, Ed Abdallah, just cannot say enough about him. Just fantastic.
Can't even say him. Can't say him. Can't say enough about him.
I know. Just unbelievable what he's doing.
It is.
Folks, if you think you're not doing enough in life, just look and see what he's doing, especially for this wonderful charity, Hope Village for Children. And, boy, this is going to be exciting stuff coming up in June. Everybody needs to get behind Ed, and I really encourage that. And we'll continue to plug this. And, like I said, we'll visit with him a little bit later on this year as he gets ready for June. But can you imagine that just daily, the time and effort that goes into this? So,
Well, I'll tell you, you can't even begin to imagine. I mean, there's people, I ride a bicycle. Yeah, it's tough. I know that. But you have not climbed 11,000-foot elevation on a bicycle before.
yeah, because when we
That
go,
is.
I mean,
that is
the starting
tough.
point, Oceanside, California.
When he said 3 hours, I said, "Oh my goodness!"
And the finish, Atlantic City, New Jersey. That is 3,000 miles plus 12 days, over 170,000 vertical feet. You're covering 15 states, 3 deserts, 4 of America's longest rivers, and 3 mountain ranges: Sierra, Rocky, and Appalachian. I mean, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. But he's going to do it.
He's going to do
He's
it.
going to finish it. He's going to do it.
I think so. He's got that tenacity.
Absolutely.
All right, we wish him the best and support him, and be sure and donate to the cause while you're at it. Well, it's Mornings in Meridian, and speaking of donating to the cause, we couldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for people donating to our cause.
That's right. Donating to my midsection, and that's down at the Magnolia Restaurant.
Hey! Yeah! That's what we'll do. We'll treat Ed to a big meal at the Magnolia when he gets
done.
back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's Friday, Roger. You know what that means.
It's
it is
fish!
catfish. Yes, catfish fillets on the menu today. Of course, they got chicken wings, red beans, and sausage over rice with a couple of vegetables. And one of my favorites is at the top of the list: hamburger steak with onion and gravy. Of course, you can go with a veggie plate as well. Biggie burger with fries. Oh, it is so, so good. And they got a variety of po' boy sandwiches on the menu as well. Go by and see them there for a delicious breakfast to start your day as well. They got the Rise and Shine breakfast. The Long Haul breakfast is also available. Something about that stack of pancakes there at the Magnolia Restaurant. So swing by and see them. Lunch will start being served at 10:30. And here's the thing about it, folks. They don't close. They're open 24/7, so if you want to go by for a late-night meal, you can do that just off of exit 150. So go by and see them, and if you want to get lunch, maybe back to the office today, I get it. We get busy sometimes. You can call ahead at 601-482-0259, exit 150. I would say at this point, Roger, is the legendary Magnolia Restaurant.
Legendary.
It's legendary.
I'll go with that.
It's huge. It's big.
That's it.
It's enormous.
It's enormous. And I know we had a little long segment last time, so let me just throw in here about our good friends like Ty Booker and all the folks down there at
Ty.
Premier Bait and Body Shop. Right now, we want you to know that it's not just a matter of bolting on a bumper and putting on a new fender with automobiles these days. Computers, cameras, sensors, airbags. You don't just bolt on a bumper anymore when it comes to repairing a car.
Everything's got some kind of a sensor on it now.
And you have to rely on body shops that keep up with that technology, and Premier Paint and Body Shop is done just that through the years. So you want everything working right whenever your vehicle comes out of the shop, and so we invite you to make sure you put in your phone just 601-482-PAINT. That's 601-482, and there's numbers with paint, but it's easy to remember if you just say paint.
Yeah, 7246.
Oh, you could do that. And, of course, the good staff there, they've got good painters and mechanics and body men that have been there for years and years and years and years and years and years, and they know exactly what they're doing. So for a premier experience in getting your car returned to like new condition, go to Premier Paint and Body. Right there on Highway 39 next to Johnson Dodge. That's Premier Paint and Body.
A couple of stories here locally involving the Meridian Police Department. The MPD.
Looking for work?
Yeah, they're looking for work. The MPD is asking for help from the public to solve a cold case. MPD say, and I apologize if I mispronounce this first name, but Joissus Rogers died in a shooting in the 2400 block of 5th Street in October of last year. Sergeant Thompson with the Crime Stoppers unit, I guess, with the Meridian Police Department. If you have information, videos, or photos related to that shooting that happened in October of this past year, you can call Sergeant Thompson. His number is 769-298-5111. Once again, that's 769-298-5111, or you can call the local Crime Stoppers for any information leading to an arrest in that cold case right there. And also, you mentioned that the department is trying to get some more officers on staff right there, too. They did put out some information about that yesterday. And also, in other MPD news, according to Detective Stevens, the MPD joined forces with the U.S. Marshals Task Force for 4 area arrests. Centavious Walker, 22, Tyreek Presley were arrested on February the 5th. Both individuals were charged with home invasion and armed robbery. Nikeshia Walker, 26, was arrested for aiding and abetting known fugitives. And on February the 7th, Eddie Stewart, 34, was arrested for a residential burglary. His bond was set at $50,000. And they are saying, Roger, that there are more arrests to come. So good teamwork there with the MPD and U.S. Marshals on making some arrests here locally of individuals they were seeking in some local crimes here. So a lot of Meridian Police Department news to pass along this morning. So just wanted to throw that out there for you.
And there's a career path if somebody wants to, be a cop. They're taking applications.
Don't want to go to New York and be a cop and get beat up, but
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
They're looking for the people they let go. Up in New York, they're looking for the people they let go. Yes.
But yeah, just wanted to give them kudos on those arrests. And like I said, help them out with that cold case if you can, and making things happen. I know it's been kind of I would say interesting past week for the Meridian Police Department, obviously with the shooting at the department last week and, the controversy surrounding the so-called press conference that happened thereafter with Chief Young, and, of course, that leading to some arrests happening this week and other crimes in the area. So MPD is steering to the left and to the right and just news all over the place. I'll just put it that way. How about that?
Man, we got news all over the place.
Good, bad, and indifferent. How about that?
You too can be part of the show. We'd love to hear from you. You can give us a call, 601-485-9191.
And also, I was going to tell you, too, next hour we're going to announce our winner of our Valentine's Day sweepstakes as well.
Hey.
And I've actually...
Flowers and dinner.
We may call them on the air. You want to do that, maybe?
I think we should.
I've got the number here.
We'll do.
We'll do that next hour.
We will call the winner. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so if you registered over at WALTmeridian.com, we will be calling the winner during the 8 o'clock hour.
All right, I got to do this because it's his birthday. So
okay, come on.
I got to play this. Here it comes. I got to do it.
The defense is wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
How could you be so sure?
Because there is no way that these tire marks were made by a 64 Buick Skylark. These marks were made by a 1963 Pontiac Tempest.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we clarify to the court whether the witness is stating opinion or fact?
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
I find it hard to believe that this kind of information could be ascertained simply by looking at a picture.
Would you like me to explain?
I would love to hear this.
Gosh, don't get me started.
I did. Joe Pesci turns 81 years old today,
it's Joe Pesci Day, man.
It's Joe Pesci Day, yep. Of course.
My three favorites of all time, that's number one.
That is, oh, man.
Casino and Goodfellas.
Oh, wow. I think I need to see. I haven't seen those. I have not.
You didn't see Goodfellas or Casino?
I need to check
what
that out.
What kind of a man are you?
I know it. A busy one. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, Casino, you got to devote about 3.5 hours of your life. It's a long one, but it's good. It's good.
It's
a good gangster movie.
Might be why I haven't yet.
Goodfellas is solid, though. It's got the late Ray Liotta in it. So,
but yeah, that was. I mean, that's again. As I think about it, this is 20. Yeah, last year, my cousin Benny came 30 years old. So it's 93 that thing was released. So, a little big piece of information.
What do you think about these pants I'm wearing?
Imagine you're a deer.
I love it.
And you put your little deer lips down to the brook for a little water.
And
Yeah.
she won an Oscar for that.
She did. She sure did. She appeared in many movies after that, but not quite to the star level that she reached there in My Cousin Vinny.
So today is Joe Pesci Day. I like it.
That's it. I just want you to know that. And if you want to put Travis Tritt in there, by the way, he's
Hey.
60 years old today.
He's been to Meridian a handful of times.
Yeah,
So.
Travis Tritt, 60. They might talk him into coming to Jimmy Rogers Festival.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a minute. Not enough money? Never mind. Okay. I just wondered about that.
He's been there before.
Yeah, he has. Other birthdays, let's see who we have here. That's about it. Mia Farrow, 79. Yeah.
She's how old again?
79.
Good Lord.
Yes, time flies when you're having fun. So there's a few shout-outs there for birthdays if today's. Oh, well, how about the late President William Henry Harrison? Don't know much about him. A fast fact about him is his nickname was Tippecanoe. Yeah, I did know that, I think.
He could probably remember a few more things like our current. Oh, sorry.
In order to prove his manly stoicism, he was sworn in without a coat or a hat on a day that was freezing and rainy. Then he proceeded to give the longest inaugural speech in U.S. history, speaking over 2 hours. Immediately came down with a cold and died after only 32 days in office.
Well, good job.
Yeah, you the man, Tippecanoe.
Wasn't thinking right there. Good grief, man.
Well, even Joe Biden has a sense to come out of the cold weather.
Yeah, I can't wait to unpack that story rather next hour. I know we're running up against the 8 o'clock hour here, but well, we got time here. We can talk about it.
Here's the theme. The theme is I can break the law as a Democrat because really there is no law as a Democrat.
Well, when you get outside of
There's
that,
no enforcement. Let's put it this way.
Well,
There's no enforcement of the law.
when you
as a
get
Democrat.
outside of that, it's just the point of what happened yesterday. Of course, we're mentioning the special counsel, the independent counsel, rather, that released his report yesterday involving the classified documents with Joe Biden. There's going to be no crime that's going to be charged here. But, Roger, the one part of this report, it was well over 300 pages. When he got to the mental capabilities of the president during the interview process where he said he couldn't remember exactly when he was vice president or when his son Beau passed away. And then
How dare him?
and then
How dare him go there?
And then Biden go out in front of the press at 7:45 last night Eastern time, which was a little late for him. And then he gets the Mexican and Egyptian president mixed up last night after he's trying to go after the media for this report and the special counsel for mentioning it in the report. You do all that, and then you mix up two presidents. It's like, well, the special counsel just basically proved the point right there of where we are at right now. So I think that is – I think one of the guys that's on the 5, I believe it's one of the – it's a Democratic congressman from Tennessee. I believe it's Ford. He was on Fox and Friends this morning.
John Ford Jr. or
something like that. And he said Republicans are going to use that as kind of their closing for a campaign ad against Biden if he remains in this race. And that's the first time I've heard a Democrat say if he remains in the race, because he said that was a really bad look for the president.
That brings up a point that I'd like to make. It would be in the best interest.
Harold Ford. Yeah.
Not Gerald, but Harold. All right. I think we should just back off, quit talking about the president's cognitive abilities, his ability to govern. Let him just do what he does. Let the people watch and go into the November election. If we start raising such a ruckus about it and the media finally all jumps on board about it, then they might decide, or you might hear that famous speech like Lyndon Johnson made, where I choose not to seek the nomination of my party. And when that happens, then you put a viable candidate in there, a Democrat, who could beat Trump. Right now, I think Trump has this if Biden stays in the game.
Or was this all just a setup by someone behind the scenes to say, hey, special counsel, put that into your report. That way we can have a tool in the box here to really push him to the side and put the candidate we want to put in there.
Your conspiracy channels have all...
I know.
Your conspiracy channels have all got this idea that, Trump's going to be, Biden, excuse me, is going to be removed from running here in the next couple of months. And
hey, Mr. Special Counsel, this is Gavin calling. Listen, is there any way you could include
Gavin, my eye, I'm Michelle Obama, and I want to be on that ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. You can call him Gavin VP if you want to. Oh yeah, there you go.
But how embarrassing is it?
That's for the conspiracy channels.
You try to have a press conference to basically try to crush this, and he's just getting nasty with the press.
Didn't you love the point?
And then he mixes up those two things. It's like, man, you're proving the guy's point.
Here's what I love. Here's what I love. He's leaving the room, right?
Yeah.
He turns around and comes back to the microphone. He's like, okay, just to further solidify.
And then when that kind of stuff happens,
just go.
China's got their feet up on the table laughing.
Yeah.
Iran and all these other countries are like,
yeah,
we got them right where we want them right now.
Mr. Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, picked up the phone and said, go for Taiwan.
And by the way, I know we don't have enough time here, but did you see where Tucker Carlson did an interview on X last night with Vladimir Putin? There was no commercial breaks. It was well over an hour and a half long.
I did not see that.
Yes. Very interesting stuff.
I did happen to catch the little documentary that Newsmax did this morning, though, on a beautiful first lady talking about Melania Trump.
Melania!
She got some positive press finally.
I love my Donald. I love Donald. He's going to be the next president.
From Newsmax. That's where she got it from.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back, our number is 601-485-9191, 601-485-9191. Write it down, dial it up, but we do have our top of the hour Fox News break, which we've got to take. And then when we come back, we'll cover those things and more. We'll see if we can find an application for the Meridian Police Department.
All right.
I would like to see what that looks like. Would I have to have a high school education?
Got to be physically fit, I would think.
I've always tried to tell Sheriff Solly I can do this.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. Stay tuned. And good morning once again. Welcome back to Mornings in Meridian. It is the 2 best hours of local live talk radio right here in East Mississippi, West Alabama. Roger B. here along with the main man from Meehan. Say hi to Rob Atkinson.
Hello, good morning.
Man, I tell you what, you are one busy dude. You just got you leave here, you go to another job, then another job, another job. Pretty soon you're going to be as busy as me. Yeah. So it's
all of my work is in the state of Mississippi. So
well, now that
I don't leave the state. So
that does kind of lend itself there. You're within like a couple-hour drive usually.
Yeah, mine's not bad. Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. They give you mileage though, right?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, good.
Copacetic. Yeah,
Mornings in Meridian. We want you to be part of the show. 601-485-9191. And this show is brought to you in part by folks down there at Battery One Source.
Absolutely. Golf cart service and repair. I wanted to start out there. Yeah. And I know you always tell the story about the golf cart, and when you need something serviced on there, most folks are going to think, well, they're just going to push this on me and push this on me. No, they're going to do exactly what you need to do and save you some dollars. And trust me, you're going to be a return customer every single time with your golf cart service and repair. Now, as far as batteries go, they've got them all. They've got stuff for watches, remotes, cell phones, of course, your vehicles as well. And most times in your vehicles, it may not need a new battery. Maybe you need to check a cable or a tender or something like that. And, of course, folks don't really think about broken cell phones with Battery One Source, but they do fix broken cell phone covers, and Said is the man down there at Battery One Source, and he can get you fixed up, because let's face it, these little covers on these cell phones, that glass on the front is getting so thin now. I mean, they're making them thinner and thinner and thinner, and you just make one drop without a case on it, and it's going to crack that glass in a hurry, and then you got a whole other list of problems. So let them fix you up and get you a new cell phone case while you're there. Of course, they got other accessories and flashlights as well. That is Battery One Source. They're at 2618 North Frontage Road. Give them a shout at 693-1500. Of course, they are going to be opening up the doors here in just a few, and they'll be there today until 4:30. That is Battery One Source. John Dufour and his staff would love to see you.
All right, our number here is 601-485-9191. Let's take a phone call. Good morning. Welcome to our show.
MAGA morning, true American patriot.
Hi, is Matt.
MAGA morning there, sir.
Yes. Was that not a spectacle with Biden?
Who's the president?
Maybe I'll tell you what they need to do. Maybe the demon cats need to run Biden and the chief of police Meridian as a pair.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Wow. Now, that's interesting.
Oh, hell yeah. Don't you think that'd be wonderful?
Well, that would be the only thing young around Biden.
You're terrible. Low-hanging fruit. I had to do it. Yeah, you had to
But
do
my
it.
man Trump blowed Nevada away, didn't he?
He did. Sure did. Blew right out of the
all hail
water.
the power of Donimus.
Donimus Trump.
Nevada.
Trump at this.
Oh, man.
But the hits just keep on coming. It's life is stranger than fiction in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is. He's up there talking about his memories fine and everything, but the criminal justice or the justice system just shows the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Now, Biden had no authority for those documents. Trump had every bit of authority. Now, Biden gets to skate. His old goofy son, Hunter, gets dumped these charges against him. But, man, if a Republican does something, it's like we need to just, public humiliation or spectacles or everything like that. And that's the reason nobody has any confidence anymore.
All I can say is if Trump wins the White House again, my vote is for Peter Doocy for press secretary.
Well, just a robot would be better than what they got now.
But Peter Doocy went after him yesterday, and boy, he had some receipts after it was all done. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and you need aggressive journalism. And you need to go back to the meaning of journalism: who, what, when, why, where. Let's ask the hard questions. No more softball questions. And play the rattle battle. I mean, he goes to pieces off that teleprompter, just like Obama did. And I don't think the American people want that in a leader. I want somebody that can think on their feet and actually tell me how they feel. Don't glorify it. Don't use little cutesy euphemistic phrases and $50 words to describe a nickel idea. Just tell me what you feel in your heart and mind. And somebody that will put America first. Quit worrying about these illegal invaders. No other country on earth would put up with this. Build a wall and secure the borders, round these people up. If you've been here 50 years, you're just as illegal as if your back's still wet.
Now,
and we deport you.
Haz, I just got this from the police department. They sent a shout out to you saying, let Haz know that they have applications at the police department. They're hiring police cadets. While you're still able, I'd like for you to get
the thing about it, maybe if I were younger, I might have gone into law enforcement. But here it is. You need somebody that's going to be the leader, and that leader needs to be highly qualified. He needs to be where he wants people around him and under his command that are qualified. No slackers. We're not going to have exceptions. We're not going to lower the standards. We're going to have dynamic police force instead of somebody that gives a 30-second press conference on a major issue of importance to the people of Meridian. That's completely disgraceful. Mm-hmm. Completely disgraceful. What confidence could you have in that? I'd rather have somebody with military experience, prior law enforcement, been a proven police chief in a city this size.
Didn't we have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, we had that right before this current one.
Well, you have to be. Let's analyze what you're saying there, because let's keep in mind when Billy Solly became chief of police of Meridian, he had not been a police chief prior to. But I think
but he had worked his way up through the ranks, and he knew everything about Meridian. Mm-hmm. He knew how it worked. It wasn't a diversity hire. When you put your politics and all your raceonomics in something and let's check the blocks and damn the qualification, you get junk just like Biden and Harris and stuff like that. Let's get somebody that's overqualified for the job.
Yeah.
And let him choose the people. Like I said, if I was a mayor, I'd get me the best of the best. I'd have a little come to Jesus with him. No cameras, no recording, no nothing. You answer to nobody but me, and you're totally responsible for that department. You go down there, you weed through them, you put the ones on the curve you don't like, you keep the rest, you tell them the standard, and then you hire the people that can do the job.
All right. There you go.
And let them know you're going to be replaced if you don't do the job.
There you have it.
Your longevity with the chief position is doing your job. But when in any other area that I have any knowledge of, if you can't do the job, you can't stay. They're going to get somebody to replace you.
There you go.
But they're not going to do that here because that is logical. And that's what the people want. So they're not going to do that. But, yeah, the Jimmy Rogers deal and other stuff, we're just going to have to probably fund the things that are important to us, just like they fund the things that are important to them with your money. Not theirs, your money. That money is not theirs. They have not earned that money. They do not make a product to sell to make money. They rob you of your money, and they spend it at their discretion on things that are important to them. I talked to Miss Joe last night.
Hey.
Oh yeah, she's going to the homeland for Mardi Gras, I think.
Last night. He talked to her last night.
Talk to her.
That's what I like.
And
That's what I like.
Ojo, she's always comical. And I think she is a neat person.
We might make that match after all before it's over.
I tell you what,
I believe I could have Miss Jo purring like a French kitten. Le purr, le purr.
Goodness me.
Yeah, I was going to tell Haz, I said, we got the pancake breakfast coming up on the 24th. I said,
wow, that is coming up.
We might need to all meet up at a table and discuss the issues.
Yeah. That's right. I've signed a marriage license before. I know what to do. I can do that.
Oh, God.
I know how to do that. All right. It's Mornings in Meridian. We're glad you're out there. You too can be part of the show. 601-485-9191. Put you right here with us. You know, if you haven't been to Philadelphia in a while, you need to go because it's really just a short drive up there. And by the way, if you're looking for a new Toyota or a previously owned Toyota, remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Absolutely. Great new dealership there in Philadelphia. I say new. It's been there for about a year or so now, but beautiful right there at Highway 16 West in Philadelphia. Of course, they got the new 24s there on the lot, and you can check them out actually before you make the drive over at docstoyota.com. They got a good-looking line of Tundras up there, Tacomas and 4Runners. The 24 models are there for you to shop around and check out over at docstoyota.com. And, of course, the service department opens weekdays 7:30 until 5 and a few hours on Saturdays as well, so you can keep your Toyota vehicle up and running just perfectly out there on the roadway. So 601-600-3786 is their number up in Philadelphia. Once again, that's 601-600-3786. And once again, the dealership is located at 15120 Highway 16 West in Philadelphia. And online, of course, as we mentioned, docstoyota.com. And, of course, say it with us.
There's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Yes, sir.
It's Mornings in Meridian. Our number, 601-485-9191. Put you right here with us. You know, Rob, in addition to the story about...
Don't forget, we got to call our winner, too.
Oh, yes, we do have to call our... You see, that's why you're here. That's exactly why you're here. Make sure we stay on track. You want to do that right now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and set it up.
All right, so we have our Valentine's sweepstakes we've been talking about. Of course, big thanks to World of Flowers for the bouquet of flowers that they are hooking us up with. And, of course, the dinner to Weidman's as well. And we are going to call our winner live on the air.
Live on the air.
And, of course, folks registered over at WALTmeridian.com as well for the Valentine's sweepstakes.
All right, let's see who we can have here. Do I have to dial 9 to dial out?
I think so.
Hope not. See. We'll see.
All right.
All right, here we go. One ringy dingy. All right. Hey, there we go.
Okay, it's ringing.
Hello?
Hi, this is WALT Radio on air calling for Brian McCary.
Well, this is him. Kind of weird seeing WALT calling you.
You know, that's just what happens when you start sharing your contact information with a radio station.
Brian, we just wanted to call and say congratulations. You have won our Valentine's Day sweepstakes.
Shut the front door. That's crazy. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You are very welcome. And, of course, instructions, Rob, on how to acquire his gifts?
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. I'll give you a shout later on today and let you know how you can get everything squared away. But, you've won that bouquet of flowers from Miss Aubrey and the staff at World of Flowers, and that dinner up to $100 there at Weidman's in downtown Meridian for Valentine's Day.
I think I could eat $100 worth of the tomatoes with 1870 sauce on it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, you have made my life a little bit easier, and my wife's going to be extremely happy. Thank you, WALT.
All right.
Fantastic.
And I suspect you do check us out every now and then. You do listen regularly, don't you, Brian?
I do listen, and I also watch on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Now, that's a little frightening there, but that's okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that, Brian, and thanks for entering our contest. And just spread the good word that if you want some good information and a little entertainment along the way, have the folks check out Mornings in Meridian.
Meridian's best news talk station, WALT.
Oh,
There we go. I like it.
wished I had the recorder turned on.
There we go.
Brian McCary, thank you so much for your listenership, and congratulations on the Valentine giveaway.
And Brian, I'll give you a shout here after a while and let you know how to get everything, okay?
All right. Appreciate it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
All right. There you
Yeah.
go.
Here's how you get the stuff. See, you go to the alley there between Weidman's and
This is how you do it on Joe Pesci Day, okay? You
Joe-
got it.
You were serious about that?
We'll meet you down in the cornfield with some ball bats, and we'll hook you up over there, okay? Hey, how you
Joe
doing?
Pesci Day, I'm telling you.
That's
That's right.
fantastic, Brian. Hope you enjoy that.
Is wrong.
Yes, the defense is wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Positive.
How could you be so sure?
Because there is no way that these tire marks were made by a 64 Buick Skylark. These marks were made by a 1963 Pontiac Tempest.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we clarify to the court whether the witness is stating opinion or fact?
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
I find it hard to believe
gotta do
that this kind of information could be ascertained simply by looking at a picture.
Would you like me to explain?
I would love to hear this.
So would I.
Okay, thank you for indulging us, folks.
Because when he says
Thank you for
that, when
indulging
he
us,
says, "I
folks.
would love to hear that," he sits up on the prosecutor's desk right there next to the jury.
Yeah, yeah.
And the judge like, "So would I."
Decorum's out the window at that point. And yeah,
There's so many good scenes in that movie.
and maybe there might be some people that could validate this, but I always heard that movie was used in actual, law school, kind of showing some at least excerpts of it, showing, it's pretty interesting how, that
I went down to
adds
the
evidence.
You seen the suit I wore? I've had it in court. Well, the store they got the flu, so I had to go to a secondhand store. So I wore this ridiculous thing for you.
We didn't know how the whole store could get the flu, and then COVID came along. So
Yeah, I know, right?
30 years later, and that's how the store gets the flu. Anyway, we're glad you're out there having a good time this morning. By the way, other birthdays include Dennis Thomas from Kool and the Gang.
Okay.
So just, his born on this day. He's no longer with us, but yeah, he would have been 73.
Dead.
Ernest Tubb was born this day in 1914.
Oh, okay.
Good old Ernest Tubb.
Very good.
That's it. That's it. I was looking at the news stories from the WTOK yesterday. We mentioned, of course, the police looking for, policemen and women.
Looking for some folks to help.
Applicants.
Yeah.
Well, I get that. They got a lot of cars sitting on the lot and nobody's driving them.
I saw that the other day.
So, you go, hey, if you always want to drive a police car, go sign up. But I had to laugh a little bit. And I'm not laughing at WTOK. I'm laughing at the story because the headline says, "Man charged with poultry theft in Neshoba County." Let me tell you what we call that back in Mississippi, back when I was
Have you
just a younger boy.
Well, have you seen meat prices lately?
I love the story. Poultry thief in Neshoba County. We called them chicken thieves.
Chicken thieves. Like I said, have you seen the price of meat lately?
Man charged with chicken thievery in Neshoba County. Man, I like that. I like the way we dressed that all up a little bit.
Speaking of TOK, I did see our good buddy Lindsey Hall a couple of days ago out at MCC. I was covering a ball game for the college, and
He still speaks to you?
absolutely.
He doesn't speak to me.
He was out there covering a blood drive they were having out at MCC. Yeah, he spoke to me. I was like, oh, look at this. I spoke to Lindsey Hall.
Yeah. Hey, Lindsay, Rotary still meets the same time. Come on, see us. Anyway.
Is this thing on?
There you go. And a big congratulations to the Meridian Fire Department. I saw the new engine that they rolled out there.
Yeah,
that was
gorgeous, good looking stuff.
They put the order in a couple of years ago, and just like everything else in this country,
It got here.
It took 2 years to deliver.
We ordered that thing with the previous administration. It finally got here.
Yeah, and that's probably why I'm not a fireman, because I'd be tempted to jump in that thing and just go touring around town in it. But that's kind of nice up there at it's called E1 at the Engine One Company up at the top of the hill.
Love our firefighters. Appreciate you.
Love our firefighters.
Appreciate y'all.
They've got to answer everything from, I guess, a little car accident or maybe a medical issue to big structural fires.
Good deal. I love it.
thank you, men and women that go out there and put that uniform on and wait for the bell to ring or the siren to go off, and then you do your best to protect us.
I know we were up against a Fox News break, but after the break
Got a minute and a half.
I did get a chance to really watch, and well, they had the audio up on Fox yesterday of the Supreme Court hearing the Trump ballot deal from Colorado. I tell you what, that's the first time I've ever heard arguments in front of the Supreme Court, but it was very intriguing stuff. So we'll talk about that coming up. And a lot of the liberal justices on the court yesterday had some stronger questions than you would think the conservatives would have in that case. But very interesting stuff yesterday.
One thing that came out of it, well, we'll talk about it on the other side of the break, right?
Yeah.
I'll save that for the other side of the break, because one thing that came out of it I think is very telling. It was maybe why your liberal judges are maybe siding with Trump on this. And we'll talk about that and more. But in the meantime, we want you to write this number down. Give us a call, 601-485-9191. That's our talk line. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. We're just, we have to do this. We have bills to pay, and the people you're going to listen to here help pay our bills.
Yep, power bills due tomorrow.
We don't want the transmitter going quiet. You don't want to slap leather with the Lord. Oh, man. Mornings in Meridian. Glad you're out there. Isn't it a great coincidence, Rob, that Travis Tritt's birthday is the very same as Joe Pesci's?
I know, right?
He's the one that did the theme song for My Cousin Vinny.
Love it.
All right, had to do that. Such a fan of that movie. I have to tell you, I probably told you, but allow me to bore you again. I did take the tour of Monticello, Georgia. That's Trisha Yearwood's hometown, but
Was there recently.
drove around. Were you there?
Yeah. Yeah, because my wife's grandmother lives not too far from there, and we actually had breakfast near the courthouse here recently. So,
Really?
yes, sir.
I thought you're talking about Monticello, Florida.
No, this is Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, up where the court where this was filmed.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you! Look at you! Your grandmother lives near there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could have looked.
Well,
I could have had some biscuits and gravy or something while I was there.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that's isn't that a neat little town?
It is. It is. I love
drove
it.
around the circle just like they did, parked in the same spot they did. You know, took the shot, the pictures, and all that kind of stuff.
It's good stuff.
Anyway, that's just a little blah blah trivia there for you. Okay, it is Monticello, Georgia.
Yes, it is. Correct. Yeah.
Well, and your wife's grandmother lives near there.
Yeah. Lives a few miles away. So
Pretty cool. She probably lives down there near the Sack and Suds. I did drive down to the Sack and Suds, by the way.
of tuna.
I had a dog at the Sack and Suds. Anyway, glad you're out there, folks. We want you to be part of the show. 601-485-9191. This show brought to you in part by our good friends Doug Martin and his son, Doug Martin.
Senior, junior.
Well, yeah, it would be senior and junior, and then also Stacy.
Yeah, she's the real brains behind the operation.
Shh, I don't want to hurt Doug's feelings.
Hey, I want to make the women happy out there. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Well,
she's the number cruncher when he calls out off the roof. All right, that's 5 foot 600.
Oh, I remember that when they came out and Doug Jr.'s up on the roof and she's down there with the clipboard and taking the notes.
right.
Here's the measurement on this. Okay, what about the other side? All right, we're doing this.
That's right. It's a good job. They get down accurate.
But they really do, and they do a thorough job. And, folks, they do great work from the start of that process, like we said, when they come out and do the measurements, inspect for the damage, all the way through the cleanup process. And a lot of folks always worry about roofing applications being left all over their lawn after a roofing job gets done. But at Martin Roofing, they take a lot of pride behind the cleanup process. So they do all the roofing applications that, shingles, metal, rubber, commercial roofing. They're committed to excellence. And, of course, they'll give you that free estimate and inspect for some damage as well, whatever it might be. Doug Martin Sr., Jr. can help you out. 601-485-5920. They'll be happy to help you with all your roofing needs. And, folks, they're members of the Better Business Bureau, so you can put that stamp on there as well. And they're licensed here in the state of Mississippi in 30-plus years, and rolling is our friends at Martin Roofing. Once again, that's 601-485-5920.
Rob, you were talking about the I almost didn't get that out. Rob, you were talking starting to sound like Joe Biden.
Here's the thing about it is I love Hillary. But anyway.
Oh, you went Clinton on me there.
Yeah, I know.
You were talking about the Supreme Court, and I would be actually just very shocked and extremely disappointed if the Supreme Court upheld what they're doing in Colorado.
Well, it was amazing. It's really the first time that I've actually got to sit down and, they didn't have the video up, obviously. They just had the audio provided from the Supreme Court there in the chamber. But just listening to the way those proceedings go, I mean, I've always been a big, law nut, just courtroom stuff and everything like that. I think we all do because we all think it's so just attractive in the movies and everything. We've been talking about My Cousin Vinny this month.
My experience started with Perry Mason.
Exactly. But just listening to the arguments yesterday and just how sharp these Supreme Court justices are in interpreting the law is just, it's great stuff. If you ever get an opportunity, you need to sit down and listen to just a few minutes of those arguments yesterday. But they did have a representative. He was an attorney. His last name was Murray, and he was basically representing, they call it the voters of Colorado, I guess you would say. And they had, of course, the Trump camp had their attorneys there as well. But Roger, what was interesting about the proceedings yesterday is that the liberal justices had stronger questions than the conservative justices did. And I'm talking about Sotomayor and Kagan and several others. And, of course, the more conservative justices did as well, especially Alito. Gorsuch had a couple of tough questions. Amy Coney really wasn't that strong. And Chief Roberts, bless his heart, he's just up there to grin and press palms. But anyway, but it was very eye-opening stuff. They were really pressing hard down on the state of Colorado about whether they have the ultimate authority with keeping Trump off of the ballot.
Well, first of all, the charges that they're charging him with insurrection, and he has never, or anybody that was involved in the January 6th riot, has been charged with insurrection.
Well, it was either Alito or Gorsuch that asked that question. You know, there was, I believe it was Article 3 of one of the portions of one of the amendments in the Constitution where it talked about insurrection. And it says, has he been charged with an insurrection? And, you know, of course, the attorney just skating around the question left and right, trying to get the interpretation of the Constitution. So
Supreme Court justices don't like you skirting around the question.
And there was a lot of that happening yesterday. You could tell
they don't like
you
that.
could really tell or Justice Alito and Gorsuch were really getting a little agitated with the attorney yesterday on some of those questions they were asking about insurrection. But that was a real big defining moment yesterday in the proceedings.
Well, here's what the Supreme Court faces, and that is whether you're on the conservative side of the court or the liberal side of the court or the moderate middle of the court, no matter where you are, if you allowed Colorado's decision to stand.
And it was Colorado yesterday. Maine is also in the mix as well.
Next.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. This is what's happening in these states because of TDS. That's just Trump derangement syndrome. All right, what happens when the shoe is on the other foot?
Right.
All right, what if red states start leaving Democrat candidates off the ballot?
Yeah, absolutely.
For this reason, and I mean, the Supreme Court has to know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a smart cookie. And I'm not a lawyer or a judge, but you have to see the writing on the wall. If you were to allow Colorado and their decision to stand, and Maine and these others, then you're just setting up a free-for-all for future elections where the whole election process nationwide is going to be disrupted by states saying whether they're going to have candidates on their ballots or not. And it's just going to be one big mess.
And they said, too, the decision should come rather quickly in this particular case because the Colorado primary is about a month away. So
is that another way of saying this is a no-brainer?
A lot of the legal experts I've seen on a lot of the cable channels, even the New York Times is saying the Supreme Court. You got the New York Times saying the Supreme Court should vote 9-0 on this, in favor of Trump going back on the ballot.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is what it is at this point. So, I mean, what argument do you really have to keep him off of the ballot? Because they're using a term, insurrection, over and over again. Well, Mr. Trump has not been charged with insurrection.
Just wildly accused by a political enemy.
So if you are appointed to the Supreme Court to interpret the law and, of course, give your rulings when it comes on the basis of the Constitution and the law, not your political leanings left or right. And I think yesterday with the questions I heard from both the liberal and conservative justices, I heard a lot of, hey, we're interpreting the law here of what it says in our Constitution of the United States, what our founders founded us on in that document. And, boy, both liberal and conservative justices appointed by either Bush or Clinton, Trump, Biden, whoever, really grilled. I'm talking, it was some very tough questions, and I was like, wow. And I think they know deep down if they vote along, I guess you would say, you wouldn't say party lines, but their leanings, I guess you would say, then that would even stir up even more controversy when all is said and done. So, because what would the vote be? Like Roberts is always either left or right on his decisions anyway, so you'd have to say probably a 5-4 decision if they did it upon leanings of, I guess, conservative or liberal. But in this case, there's just not a lot of water holding. Not a lot of water. Holding in this one. So
Colorado's case doesn't hold water. Well, the point is the Supreme Court, they don't like these political
No, they don't.
decisions. They were squirming and uncomfortable when they were trying to decide whether the hanging chads were counted properly in Florida, and who should be the president of the United States. Of course,
Yeah.
the court giving saying that Florida's count is good, and they're going to go with George W. Bush.
Well, I mean, the last time
they don't like that, but now they're in the situation, and they're going to try to make this happen as quick as possible.
Well, and the last time the court has been under this much spotlight was Roe v. Wade. That was a summer or so ago when that decision came down. So the Supreme Court is definitely back in the spotlight again with this decision, and a lot of folks, like I said, even the New York Times is saying, "Hey, this is looking pretty obvious right here." So you would expect a 9-0 vote to come down here. Will it come down 9-0? You would think, when you look at things legally through the law on paper, looking at the evidence for what it is, by the letter of the law, it should be a 9-0 vote.
And then how much of this is intended to be, well, first of all, I'm very disappointed that the Supreme Court of Colorado upheld that.
Yeah.
And that shows a lot about Colorado. So I do invite all my good Southern friends who like to go skiing in the winter, please ski Wyoming, Montana, Utah. Don't go to New Mexico unless you have to. But stay away from Colorado. That's what I would say.
Well, what this is going to do, Roger, is ultimately, if the decision does come back 9-0 to overturn this and in favor of Trump to put him back on the ballot, that is going to send a clear message to the rest of the states that have considered this, even to Maine. You can bring this before us, but guess what's going to happen?
Wait, let's just cut Maine off and give them to Canada.
There you go.
That means it's just kind of up there in that little corner anyway, right?
Yeah. But what just kills me is these Secretary of States in these particular states like Colorado and Maine are actually pushing this agenda forward. And like you said, the Supreme Courts of these particular states are upholding this. But if this decision comes back in favor of Trump, that's, like I said, that's going to send a clear and decisive message to every other state that is considering this, which others have, like Michigan, for example, tried to do this. But what did they do? They said, no, we're gonna keep him on the ballot, because I think they knew deep down this had the potential of happening. So Colorado, in the end, the folks that are behind this of keeping him off the ballot, it's going to look bad. Well, not in their eyes, not bad, but they're thinking they're doing the right thing because he's such a bad man and such a insurrectionist. So if I heard the word insurrection once yesterday, I heard it like 75 times in that proceeding yesterday, in the hour I watched.
I think people just like saying that because it sounds like other words.
Yeah.
Mornings in Meridian, we're going to take a break. We want to hear from you, though. 601-485-9191. When we come back, we'll take a quick break and come back. Stay with us.
And he found it pretty soon.
And glad you're out there. We're ready to take your calls. If you have any comments about the Supreme Court, this, that, or the other thing, welcome to give us a call. I like what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a couple of good advertisers rolling up through here on the log. And I'm talking about, first of all, a great, great, great guy and his dear, dear, dear wife, who's also great. I mean, they're great. I mean, really great. I'm talking about, of course, Mr. Jerry Purvis and his dear wife, Betty.
The Poivises.
The Poivises.
That's right. Purvis Business Machines course started back in 1979, and one of my favorite slogans, because they live by it. Service, not excuses. Absolutely. Of course, you can go by and see their beautiful showroom at 4505 Highway 39 North in Meridian. Of course, you can always head over to gopurvis.com. Now, folks, get this. You can save up to 85% on lease return color copiers.
Color copiers?
Yeah, 85% savings. Of course, you can sell, service, rent, lease those name brand office equipment like copy machines, printers, the all-in-one devices that do everything you can imagine. And, of course, Purvis carries Toshiba, CopyStar, Kyocera, and Hewlett-Packard, among many others. And, like I said, you can go by and see the showroom at 4505 Highway 39 North. And I know we talked about Jerry and Betty Purvis, but lots of love to Don Lucas as well down there at Purvis Business Machines. So go to their website as well, gopurvis.com. Once again, that is service, not excuses, since 1979. Their number is 601-693-COPY. 601-693-COPY. That's our good friends over at Purvis Business Machines.
Rob, being in a business of broadcasting, we have at times our own opinion of the FCC.
Oh, yeah.
Federal Communications Commission.
Love those guys.
Well, yes, we do, especially since now they can hear us and listen to us.
Hi.
Hi, guys. We appreciate you so much.
Up in Washington, D.C.
They have outlawed, the FCC has voted to outlaw artificial intelligent generated voices in robocalls. Now, I wish they would just outlaw robocalls. That would be really, really cool. But the Federal Communications Commission weighed in on this use of artificial intelligence, and the message was strong. The vote by the FCC commissioners was unanimous to outlaw robocalls using voices generated with AI under the Telephone Consumer Protection Act of 1991.
Thank you.
And a maximum fine of over $23,000 per call could be waged against someone who does that. Now, keep in mind, those who try to scam you with a voice that sounds like your grandson or granddaughter or grandma or grandpa, they're breaking the law anyway. They're scamming you.
Yep.
So that's not necessarily saying they'll stop scamming. It's just illegal, and they could be fined if caught. So just, and this is a real thing, because people have had calls of, they collect sound bites of maybe a loved one.
Yeah.
Put it together in an AI voice.
It's crazy how they can do that.
They call you up and say, "This is, this is Junior. I'm in trouble. I need some money now." Blah blah blah. Whatever the trouble may be.
Yep.
Don't fall for it. AI is powerful. It's outlawed now by the FCC, but if people are breaking the law anyway, they're probably going to keep breaking the law until they're caught. So just don't send money or carry money.
It's amazing how far this has all gone with the AI stuff. I mean, gee whiz.
Yeah.
I just never answer my phone unless it's somebody I have like a contact in my phone.
And if you see a commercial with Matthew McConaughey, just don't believe it's Matthew McConaughey. It may not be him.
All right.
all right. But now, if you do get a call from Jerry Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Jeffrey, what did I say, Jerry?
That's Jeffrey's little brother, Jerry, down there.
Let me put my glasses up here. Oh, it's Jeffrey Wilson. Yes. There we go. That works. Too many Jerrys here talking about today. Yeah. Jeffrey Wilson, by the way, if you get a call from him from State Farm Insurance, because he really wants to save you money on insurance and give you great service throughout.
Absolutely, because folks, when you work with Jeffrey Wilson and State Farm, and when you combine your home and auto insurance, you can save on average $889. So we're all about saving a few extra dollars this year. And State Farm agent Jeffrey Wilson is ready to help you combine that home and auto and save here in Meridian. So give him a shout today at 601-483-8253. Of course, he has a lot of other insurance plans he would love to discuss with you. So come by and grab a cup of coffee there at 2401 Highway 39 North in Meridian. He can talk about some great plans with you. He's got great staff over there at his office as well. That is Jeffrey Wilson, State Farm Insurance agent. Of course, We always say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And, of course, with Jeffrey, he is working with a lot of different organizations here around East Mississippi. Of course, the Downtown Optimist Club, the East Mississippi Board of Realtors, works with teachers, the Centers for Pregnancy Choices, you name it, Jeffrey is involved in it. And, folks, when you do business with a person like that loves his community, that's where you want to do your insurance with. It's through Jeffrey Wilson State Farm. Once again, his number is 601-483-8253, or swing by and see the great staff there at 2401 Highway 39 north in Meridian. And once again, like a good neighbor,
State Farm is there.
That's right.
Just a reminder, tickets are $6 in advance. $7 at the door for the Pancake Jubilee coming February 27th.
Love it.
At the Temple Theater, downtown Meridian. You know, one thing I want to investigate and get into, this just made me think of it, but a great event, great place, great venue. It's the Pancake Jubilee, so get your tickets.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about that as we get a little bit closer to it as well.
Who you got in the game this weekend?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, get out of here.
That's who I'm going for, Taylor Swift.
Yep, big game Sunday, 49ers Chiefs over on CBS. That's who's got the game this year.
CBS. What? Are they going to start it early enough that I can watch the whole thing?
5:30.
6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. Okay, 9:30. Okay.
Yeah. And Reba's doing the national anthem, too, by the way.
Now we're talking Super Bowl.
Yes,
Put Reba up there. Who's Taylor Swift? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Let me show you how this is done.
Yeah. All right, next on Monday, we're going to be talking about the Boy Scout Eagle Recognition Breakfast.
Absolutely.
So we're looking forward to that visit. In the meantime, have a good weekend, Rob.
Folks, have a good weekend and
Buy local.